Hello indie game fans, part 2 of the big content patches of the month includes updates to some of my favourite indie games, so let's begin with a vibrant and colourful title. As promised, Vibrant's Venture is one of the more appealing looking indie platformers in development, of course taking inspiration from Mario, but with a character switching mechanic that keeps things moving. It is now in Alpha 4.0.0, which, in my opinion, doesn't mean anything these days since it certainly doesn't look like an alpha title, but loads of changes under the hood to make it a better playing experience. There are a bunch of new levels, new enemies, changes to lighting, music, enemy AI and so much more, and it's difficult to come across a great linear platformer these days, so certainly one of interest. The name of this game is just so fun to say since you can just put your worst Arnie accent and say Tower, and it's a fantastic looking action defense title that is not to be missed. Content Update 2 adds 7 new enemy types, 10 new maps and 2 new biomes, namely Lunar and Space, where the low gravity setting will make you change your strategy and is a no-brainer to pick up. The Battle of Polytopia is a pretty decent mini strategy title, this time adding a new playable clan in the bug-filled Cymanti tribe, adding more variety into this title. We don't have a new trailer for Tokoyo, the Tower of Perpetuity version 0.3, but this did add a 5th playable character in a fox spirit, where enemies in her aura immediately get attacked. This is different from the other characters in this game, since it was more about platforming and kiting enemies and then releasing their special attack, so this character does change the flow, but fantastic art and is not to be missed. An awesome hidden gem of an action roguelite is Adore, incorporating monster taming elements into the genre, so of course it's my jam, releasing the Runes of Dukur update, which includes 3 new bosses, a quest system, reworking of the rune and item system, new items, a world map system and the so-called critical health system, with this shaping up to be quite a great game. While I didn't really get along with Neon Abyss, people do seem to love this roguelite platformer, with the Titan's Advent content drop being quite significant. This added a new boss in the Titan Prometheus, as well as Cursed Athena and Cursed Ares, a new normal boss and 2 new special levels, so plenty of content and challenge to check out. I covered the bullet hell shooter Demonizer back at launch in 2020, where the art and action looked fantastic in that old school kind of way, where this got an update titled Snow and Boss Rush, comprising of 2 parts. The first, Snow, is a new playable character who is a flying mermaid, being slightly more powerful than the original Succubus character, but can control less demons. while the boss rush portion is as advertised. Pretty sweet title, so check it out if you love this genre. Another long and extensive patch video for Rogue Legacy 2, the Arcane Hallows, being the second major patch following from The Far Shores, with this patch already making the sequel bigger than the original and a no-brainer if you love this genre.
Hi there! Thanks for tuning in as we showcase the Arcane Hallows, our second major content patch for Rogue Legacy 2. We're bringing things back to a more sensible pace and releasing one biome per update. This means we can focus on other parts of the game beyond simply adding more content, such as continued optimization work and experimenting with new features. We've also rebalanced classes once more and revamped the entire relic system. We'll dig into those in more detail, but first let's talk about what's new in the Arcane Hallows. Following the Axis Mundi and Kerguelen Plains, our next content update comes with a new biome, the Stygian Study. The study is the beating heart of the kingdom, acting as the epicenter of research and progress. Within its vaulted halls lies a domain full of mystic illusion and wizardry. But not everything is as it seems. Keep your wits about you to ensure you don't fall victim to a dastardly surprise. Players who prefer a more open experience will be glad to know that the Stygian Study can be entered out of sequence. This means it can be explored at any time. Just be sure you're equipped to handle what it has in store. With the release of the Arcane Hallows, Rogue Legacy 2 now has 4 full biomes, and has officially exceeded the first game in terms of content, and this is just the beginning. But as the world expands, so too does the complexity of traversing it. To address this, we're bringing back the Crackpot Architect. Those familiar with Rogue Legacy 1 will know that the Architect allows you to lock down your previous world and play it over again. Practice against bosses, take a second crack at fairy rooms, or just go for 100% map clearance. The Architect grants the ability to try again, but remember, crazy doesn't come free. His fees increase with every attempt in a locked world. Along with the Stygian Study, 2 new classes will be lending their talents to conquer this shape-shifting world, the Gunslinger and the Assassin. Years of study into black powder has led to the invention of the pistol and the introduction of our wildest class yet, the Gunslinger. Get into the thick of it and unleash a rapid volley of bullets that turn your foes into Swiss cheese. Just don't forget to reload. A vintage hero from the original Rogue Legacy makes his triumphant return. The Assassin is a high-powered yet fragile class that can weave in and out of danger. A rapid 3-strike attack doles out enormous damage, and when threatened, they can slip into the shadows. But make sure to keep constant tabs on both your health and mana, as either one can vanish in the blink of an eye. One of the biggest additions to the Rogue Legacy universe has been the introduction of relics, which lets you customize your character during a run. We're very happy with how they turned out, but a lot of players avoid using them entirely due to their drastic costs to your maximum health. So we went back to the drawing board and came up with a new solution, the Resolve system. Resolve is a new stat that lowers as you collect more relics. Once your Resolve drops below 100%, your maximum health drops along with it. However, you can also overcharge your Resolve above 100%, either through special items, equipment, encumbrance, and so on. With a high enough Resolve, you can use relics without any detriment. This system allows us to offer meaningful choices to the player, both now and in the future. Will you customize your loadouts, be selective with your relics, and play it safe? Or will you just go crazy, grab everything you can, and become a veritable glass cannon? Rips in space-time have started to appear in the kingdom, and the only way to close them is to conquer them from the inside. These portals will take you to a series of challenges that will test your combat prowess and more. Complete them and be rewarded with gold chests, which now hold valuable treasures difficult to obtain anywhere else. Along with this, we are bringing in a very experimental change. Introducing Curio Shops. Change your spells, change your weapons, maybe even change your talents. Prove your versatility and become an axe-wielding wizard or a gun-toting knight. Will the experience break the game? We'd love to hear your thoughts on our Discord channel. Of course, this isn't everything included in the Arcane Hallows update. Continue to expect new spells, relics, traits, runes, equipment, and skills with each content release. We've also slipped in some stuff that didn't quite make the previous update, such as missing NPC art and the proper reveal of the mysterious Golden Door.
kinda bummed that the dreamy action roguelite Dreamscaper has not been getting content patch trailers, but I do have to give it a special mention since it is shaping up to be something special. The Awakening update did revamp the flow of the game, making things more compelling, with more meta progression systems added, an updated user interface, and more rooms in the Nightmare Campground biome, and you can certainly tell when an indie game will do well out of early access, and this title is one of them. No Man's Sky also featured in my video on the best co-op titles, and it has continued to impress with the Companions update. Four years plus after launch, the developers are continuing to add to this, making it truly a forever game, so to speak, but this update allows you to tame, breed, and even speak to the various alien creatures that you encounter. Always love monster taming elements in games, so this got my attention, and what a story this has been in games overall. I love developer Ronimo Games, so it's nice to see constant updates to their multiplayer action-adventure RPG Blightbound, with update 0.7 Final Charge being the biggest update to date, and I'll leave you to the developer.
Leaping headfirst into battle comes Commander Clay, summoning mighty phalanxes to the battlefield in his renewed struggle against the Blight. Among new treasures to be unearthed lie blighted items. The Vortex Blade, drawing in foes to deliver increased damage. And the Mana Burst Brooch, turning every mana orb gathered into a deadly detonation. An intimidating new threat emerges with the arrival of Blight Rifts, a series of unique and dangerous challenges that will push your heroes to their limits. The harsh and punishing Rift of Separation isolates mages from their party members, while the relentless Rift of Running sees heroes pursued by a giant amalgamation from which a single strike proves fatal. And the merciless Rift of Gathering culminates in a chilling encounter with Prismix, the mana-crazed Blood Maiden. So band together your trio of heroes and set forth on your quest to reclaim a world lost to the Blight. We are Blightbound.
A wonderful local co-op experience is Moving Out, which I have to say is following a little too closely in the footsteps of Overcooked, this time releasing a paid DLC titled Movers in Paradise, where as advertised, these levels are all in a tropical setting. "24 new levels is plenty of content, so get this one if you love the base game." We close off with CrossCode: A New Home, the paid DLC expansion for the epic action-adventure RPG. This is one of my favourite indie RPGs of all time, so I'm happy to see this get more content, adding about 8 to 10 hours, and is a direct continuation from the events of the original game. There is a new dungeon, which is the largest that the developers have ever created, together with some nice tropical settings as well, and allowing you to complete the in-game raid, which is critical even in this single-player pseudo-MMO. So well received, and it's a no-brainer since it's a fantastic game, taking the #1 spot. For more awesome pixel art RPGs, check out this video and I will see you after the jump.